Ha ha ha, isn't being human miraculous? So, day two of Morbius, Jack, how are you feeling?
Uh, Pretty good overall. I don't know if this plane audio is going to get picked up. Oh my god.
It knows. They're coming to stop us.
The black helicopters are approaching.
No, it's 9:01 a.m. We are morbing bright and early.
Yeah, no Cam this time, because Cam has work like some sort of corporate stooge.
Imagine not taking paid time off in order to morb.
Taking paid time off for the entire month of December is sort of, extenuating circumstances. I'm low-key dreading this one because even though this is only day 2 of Morb, this does represent a 100% increase in total Morb, and that is the sharpest uptick that we are going to experience this entire month.
I wish that you hadn't laid the math down like that. I felt my heart like sink through my chest. My lungs aren't in the right place anymore. Take me to the hospital.
That said, I think this is going to be the nicest part because we're really getting into the Morb. We're really getting like extra scrutiny of everything that's going on, and we're not yet deranged enough to really like completely fall apart.
Yeah, really into the meat and potatoes of Morb. I prepared more questions. What are you looking forward to?
I am looking forward to seeing whether some of the things that I thought happened in Morbius actually happened.
Yeah.
Or whether I was insane the first time. Because I have things I want to bring up, but I don't want to sound like an absolute buffoon. So this is really going to be my chance to vindicate myself on some of the bullshit that happens in this movie.
Yeah, no, because, like, the first experience of Morbius was tinged with the ecstasy of finally being morbed for the first time. But now we can approach this with a more rational mindset.
This is truly a scientific endeavor.
Yeah.
We should really lay out a full, like, scientific method for this.
This experiment is going to be valid as fuck.
This is like... These audio logs are going to be found in the basement of like a log cabin one day. And when they play them out loud over the speaker system, it's going to summon demons. It's basically the plot of Evil Dead is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Or you'll put them into your like kind of Bioshock like portable gramophone, and it'll just be like a nice little like voice accompaniment.
Did you ever watch Archive 81, Merlin?
I watched the beginning of it.
Yeah, it's basically that. There's someone many years from now is going to be tasked with piecing together the burned and destroyed cassette tapes after we inevitably go mad around episode like 28 and burn the house down.
Yeah. Well, then we won't have to bother with re-upping the lease, so it all works out, doesn't it?
It all comes out in the wash.
Yeah. Okay, so question 2. So you've been to New York, Jack. You have stepped onto American soil. How did you feel the representation of New York?
Yeah,
how did you feel about how New York was depicted in Morbius as like cinematic versus real territory that you've been to?
It's very strange because like the start of the movie is in Costa Rica?
Yes, it's in the Costa Rican jungle.
And then they go to somewhere that really feels like, I don't know, the south of Spain a little bit.
Yeah, I got like a very Italian vibe from it, and that scene's gonna come up later.
I'm excited to revisit that. The New York part itself was a bit strange, mainly because they're all very rich and they mainly exist in labs and or
the sky,
like studio apartments, which I
and
can't really relate. The sewers is true, and morbing out through the subway system. Yeah. The subway system was about right.
Yeah.
The New York subway is the New York subway, but yeah.
About the same level of people like spinning through the air and punching each other.
Oh yeah, New York is fucking wild like that.
Okay,
that's just normal.
So like a 1-to-1 accurate New York, you would say?
Oh, entirely, completely.
Okay, great. Point 3, why do you think nobody saw this movie?
Because it's really funny. It's really funny. Especially, my favorite part of the whole Morbius sweep was the fact that people told the studio, "Oh, sorry, I didn't go watch Morbius. I was busy."
Yeah.
And that convinced them to release it for a second cinema run, and then no one went and saw it the second time. I think that's incredible that Sony was like, "Oh shit, they couldn't go. They had no free time to go Morb."
Okay, yeah, if we release it one more time, come on, guys.
It must entirely be the meme value, because the movie is actually completely unremarkable.
Yeah,
which is right, yeah.
Like, because it's not even like a regular Marvel movie where it's not a self-contained story. Like, I reckon that you could get, like, fairly good story mileage out of just watching Morbius and nothing else.
It's absolutely tragic that they do set up for the sequel really hard. They really want a second Morb, and it will never happen.
Yeah, oh, I do. Come on. Give me Morbius too. I promise I'll go see it.
I probably would at this point, though, is the problem.
Yeah, like, Morbius 1 was, like, not that bad. It was pretty good.
You can I'm going to capture us just saying that. Morbius 1 was pretty good, and I'm going to append that to the end of the last episode. Just so that we can really get that sort of descent into madness. But yeah, no, as of the beginning of episode 2, wildly Morb positive.
Yeah, like, I'm feeling like 9 out of 10 so far for the month of December.
I do understand that does sound like I've been diagnosed with some sort of terminal illness. Much like the titular character, Morb.
Yeah, he does have a weird blood disease.
That's so true.
Like, they never name it, and I don't know what it does to him. I do know that it makes him need crutches, and I don't understand how having strange blood causes him to need crutches, so to speak. But I don't really need to know.
Yeah, we can suspend our disbelief and say that his blood's all fucked up and needs bat DNA.
Yeah, it's crunchy in there.
It's what blood craves.
Bat, it's what blood craves. Are we ready for the double morb? Two BS?
Yeah, I'm ready to get going. We gotta put in this shift for Cam. Hopefully he'll be able to join us again some other time.
Oh, Cam's so dedicated to making up his morb debt.
That's really tragic.
Yeah.
I've told him he doesn't need to.
Yeah, no, as long as someone's carrying the morbs, he doesn't have to, but that son of a gun, he's gonna, like, goblin down here late at night and intake those morbs.
It's a dedication I can only aspire to. But yeah, alright, let's watch
go.
Morb twice, and we'll be back with results as events unfold.
We'll see you on the other side.
Bye.
You see what happens in the movie and you start rooting for it and you go, we need Morbius.
Yeah, we do.
To stop the evil.
We need Morbius to stop the evil, that's for sure.
Hey guys, we just got back from 2 more 2BS. We definitely have a lot of thoughts about this one, don't we?
It's beginning to really put everything into perspective in terms of how many Morbiuses this truly is.
Would you say you're beginning to morb, Jack?
I have only scratched the surface of what a morb could possibly be. Yeah, especially because now, like, I'm starting to put the crumbs of the deep lore together in my head, and it will take many hundreds of morbs to continue to extract this knowledge.
What really stood out for me this time, at least for me, is the visual difference in the movie when Morbius makes the transition from human to vampire. Like, the whole production becomes a lot more theatrical, and I think that's a really nice metaphor for how he's finally able to, like, engage with the world on his own terms, like, unfettered by, or, like, you know, unobstructed by his, you know, blood disability.
Yeah, I on one hand, I am terrified that you are so much more positive on Morbius each time we watch it. That is very interesting to see. But yeah, no, I get what you mean. The place that we were talking about at the start was Greece, by the way. It was Greece.
It was not Italy or Spain, like we might have suspected.
Exactly.
But a secret third place. Greece.
It was Mediterranean. We're close enough.
Very yellow was what stood out to me upon that second watch. Very yellow.
Which nothing else in the film is like that.
Yes, only have sex is also yellow. But I think that's more of a yellow of, like, opulence and riches more than a, like, all of the Greek scenes are tinged yellow. One, because it's Mexico, just like in Breaking Bad.
It's all the piss in Greece.
It's all the piss. But also because, like, they were happy. This was their childhood when they were together and there was no conflict between Matt Smith and Jared Leto.
So you say that, but the big thing I wanted to point out, and the big thing I wanted to bring up this time was the horrendous treatment of Matt Smith's character by Morbius.
Also, the horrendous treatment of Matt Smith. LA gangs got to him in Hollywood, and no one's talking about it.
Markiplier and Matt Smith together at last. In heaven, they died because of the gangs. No, but like specifically when Matt Smith's character is first introduced, he like shows up as a little boy and goes, "Hello, my name's Lucian."
He's wearing a lot of eyeshadow, and that's important.
Because he's sickly. And then every character in the entire world, it seems, goes, no, your name's not Lucian, your name is Milo. And he just instantly and readily internalizes that, even though it is specifically told to him, like, because he's getting into, like, the hospice bed almost next to Morbius, and Morbius tells him, like, oh, the last boy who's there was Milo, and the boy before him, I do not even remember the first Milo. In order to avoid emotional attachment with the people next to me, I just have made up a name for them, and you are just another one in the long chain of, like, dying boys. And I will not remember to learn your name, and you will answer to that name. And the doctor, who is functionally our father figure, will decide to call you by that name too.
Right? No, okay, that's the thing for me, is that Dr. Nicholas also calls him Milo, and we never hear him call Matt Smith Lucian again, so presumably he just forgets. He doesn't even know.
It's utterly deranged, and I think it's a big miss on the part of the movie to have that not factor into the villain's motivation at all. Like, there are a lot of reasons why he's upset at Morbius because of the blood disease and the vampirism and all of that. But none of the reasons are, you stole my personhood as a child.
Yeah.
And I really think that that's something he should be more upset about.
You, like, completely and utterly negated my autonomy and identity in favor of, like, a faceless goon that you shaped me into, Morbius. Matt Smith has a bad time in this movie.
It's true. Where the beginnings of my deep theory that I will have to confirm over several Morbiuses is that Matt Smith's not really doing much wrong.
Yeah.
Morbius is kind of a dickhead.
Yeah, Jared Leto spent, like, the whole time of the film just shoving bats into Matt Smith's mouth. And, like, that's not... No one even mentions that.
I would like to point out the best part of this podcast is that no one that's listening has seen Morbius. No one knows if we're telling the truth or not.
Yeah.
We could just lie about all the things that happen, and they would document our madness regardless. Yeah, no, speaking of, the other thing that really stood out was the whole hospital scene right at the start.
No, every part of Horizon Labs, fucking hilarious. They nailed it.
Like, the first time we are introduced to Morbius, he's doing some research in the lab, and the, like, female protagonist comes in and asks him, like, hey,
Martine
Morbius.
Bancroft. It's
That's it,
important to remember her
Dr.
name.
Bancroft. I don't even remember Matt Smith's character's name, but to be fair, that's...
Lucian Milo.
That is...
Morbius.
it's the movie's fault, I
Yes.
guess, that we do not know Matt Smith's name.
The Wikipedia article credits him as Milo/Lucian Morbius.
Wait, his last name is Morbius?
Yeah.
Also, they are brothers?
I don't think they're, like, real brothers, but they are surrogate brothers.
Interesting, then, that Matt Smith is adopted into Morbius's family, so even his surname is taken from him.
Yes.
Even though he ostensibly comes from some sort of old money, he has, like, limos and drivers and New York penthouses, so
And
I would
Russian
imagine...
goons.
And Russian goons. So I imagine that his, like, family is not non-existent. He's not like a poor little street urchin. But again, Morbius must subsume all that is other.
Like a vampire, he must consume human identity, represented mostly by blood, but sometimes also symbolic as well.
Amazing. No, but yeah, the first scene that we meet Morbius in the hospital, he's hanging out, doing some research, and Dr. Bancroft comes in and goes, Hi Morbius, what are you up to? And he's like, oh, nothing illegal in here.
I would never do any kind of fucked up unethical research.
Yeah, and she's like, no, I thought that you were doing some sort of, like, illicit bat research in here. And he's like, what, me? No, never. And she turns around to this enormous, glowing 3-story tube full of bats and sort of points at it and goes, yeah? Yeah, Morbius? No bat research in here, huh?
No, the reveal of that is really fucking funny. She just types in Morbius's password, which she knows because he uses the same password for everything. And she types in the password, and like the lights flare up and the bats dramatically like swoop down. And she turns around and she's like, "Nothing illegal, huh?"
And he's like, "I don't know how that got there. That giant 3-story installation bat enclosure. That's like an aquarium."
But for mammals.
Yeah. Also, don't look into my, like, glass-doored freezers full of bat specimens. Nothing here. And she's like, yeah. All of this occurring in a fucking lab that is open to the rest of the hospital in, like, an open floor plan. That loads of doctors and nurses and patients are just sort of walking past in the background. And you can kind of just tell. It's like, oh yeah, that's the bat room because I can see the big 3-story bat tube.
Yeah, I can stand in the doorway and just see that the bat tube is still on and the bats are still there.
But of course, this is very underground, unethical research.
Yeah, a nurse comes in and is like, "Hey, Dr. Morbius and Dr. Bancroft, we need you for child hospital reasons." And doesn't react to the bats at all.
This is a children's hospital. This is not like a research facility.
Yeah.
Or like Morbius is doing weird bat genetics in, like, a children's hospital. Why? It's unclear, because he loves the children, and it's hard to bust Morbius across New York City to get to another place to show that he loves the children.
Yeah. Also, it makes people unlikely to attack him, because then you become the asshole that attacks a children's hospital. It's really manipulative.
It's true. Morbius is the true villain.
Yeah. Alright, any more final thoughts?
I would like to point out the non-Euclidean nature of that hospital, because there was a scene where they are doing some research in the lab, and then they have to run away because there's a child who's in danger, like you mentioned, and they have to go perform an emergency medical treatment on this child, and then, like, after they've done that, and they've gone down a corridor, like, around a corner, into the child's room.
They very specifically made several L turns, and the camera takes, like, great pains to show those corners.
But yeah, once that's done and they're still in that room, Dr. Bancroft turns around and she looks out the door, and immediately outside the door is the lab that they just left. And it's shocking to me that they live in this wonderland, this non-Euclidean dream space of a children's hospital.
Yes, whenever the camera is not focused, or like, whatever the camera is focused on will remain solid and unchanging, but anything around it, anything off screen, is liable to warp and shift at will.
That said, I've just realized, and this might be a good point to end on, is that for a movie so drenched in color theory, it is perhaps fitting that it takes place largely inside a children's hospital.
We have Tumblr accounts.
We do.